Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's very calm and soft introduction to the show.
Yeah, it's calm and soft week. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Well-
to the easy listening version of New Music Mondays.
MOR take on New Music
There's a bit of a
Mondays.
change of energy from last week when you'd been on tequila.
I can go get some quickly if you'd like me to go.
Maybe that's what necessarily. Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, Martin, how you doing? Welcome
Very well,
to New
thank you.
Music Mondays. Another Monday. This is it's our first month anniversary.
That's amazing.
And wow, what a first month it's been.
Yeah, I mean, from a sort of a shall we have a go at doing this thing to here we are a month later having done it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And nearly
do you know,
4,000 views. Can you believe it?
That's absolutely brilliant. What a result. What a result. I was trying to think
Yeah.
how many artists we must have had on as well. It must be, what, 40? I don't know. 30?
Sure,
Something?
that's actually a good question.
I don't know. That's probably
actually
overshooting it a little bit. But
really-
several.
I'm starting my Facebook watch party because these are things that apparently you need to do. So
yeah.
I'm getting my little watch party going. I'll just make sure my sound's down and that we're good to go. But yeah, it's been a month. It's been an interesting month of music. And that's one thing I can say. And I was chatting to I'm just losing my mind. Amy. I was chatting to Amy. Oh, I must plug my power in. I've moved into my little green screen studio, as you can see. I'm fully in a green screen
You've
studio.
thrown yourself completely, haven't you?
I'll
You've
go into
changed
wide
your-
so you can
you've
see
changed
how
your
wide it is.
way. How about that?
How wide is that? Is that wide enough?
Yeah, that's wide. That's
Yeah.
like properly. Like, so I can't do that. My
Yeah,
arms
see,
go
I
off the
can.
side of the screen when I do that.
So yeah, I decided to come into a green screen studio, and I've just realized that I haven't plugged the power into my MacBook, and that means it's telling me I only have 57% power. So at some point while we're playing a song, I'll find my power. I just don't know what I've done with it right now, and we'll play some music while I'll plug them while we're playing some music. But anyway, just getting back to our first month, because I think it's been very interesting. The variety of music that we've had on the show as well has been pretty vast if you had to look at it, from the likes of Simple Stories in Bloemfontein to Cameron Sanderson in London to Graham Watkins, Max Palmer on the rock side, Vonderboom. There's been a very interesting mix of music, which is kind of why we started this show, and this is kind of why I really enjoy this show. I think is because of that kind of diversity, for want of a
We've
better
had
word. of music.
artists from, it's not just, we've had South Africa and London, obviously, but also from
Yep.
Hanoi.
Shady Lanes. How was that song? I still can't get enough of that track. I'm still listening to that song.
We had
A great song.
Annie Dresner last week, who's from
Yep.
Cambridge via New York.
Wow, yeah. It's been an interesting selection of music, to say the least. And this week last week we had 9 interviews.
Yeah,
Our show was an hour and 50 minutes long.
it was longer. Yeah, it was like
Which
kind of
was-
advertised as an hour. It was a bit longer.
Yeah, so, well, we don't really advertise how long. We just
No, I know.
go for it.
I know.
So I'm just
It lasts
seeing
as
where
long as it
our-
lasts.
I'm just quickly seeing where our special guest is tonight, because I seem to have lost him. Where is he? Let's see. Let me see. Did I send him the link? It's possible that I didn't. And you know what? It is very, very possible. So let me just see quickly. I'll just copy the link one more time and send it through to Munya, because we have a very special guest with us tonight. And I probably didn't send the link, which, no, I did. But he doesn't seem to have clicked on it yet. But he'll be
yet.
with us shortly. So
With us.
he'll be with us shortly. We've got a very special guest from Sony ATV Music Publishers. He's just been appointed the new head of A&R for Africa. So I think it's pretty relevant in terms of what the show is about by having somebody like Munya on the show. And just again, and I'm quickly going to put up this banner. So we have a banner that tells people, submit your music to us today via discover.tv. Martin will also fill in. I couldn't fit your whole thing in instructions on how to do it on the third year, Martin. But we'll just remind guys, do you want
I
to just
think it's
remind
good
guys
that
in
if
the
we
UK?
centralise it, it's probably not a bad
Yeah, it's probably a
idea.
bit better, hey?
We'll definitely get this a bit more centralised. But
Yeah, there is a submissions button, and you can also just email us at info@discover.tv. And I'll maybe just create one called music@discover.tv as well, in order for people to be able to submit their music. So I think, from that perspective, we'll just keep it nice and simple, one centralized. Please post your questions as well. Also, when we play the music videos or the songs by the bands or the artists that we have on tonight, we always share the link to their music. So please go and support the music as well, because that's what the show is about, is showing some love and support to those up and coming, those new artists, those even some of the established artists that come on the show. We've had the likes of Mikasa and Wonderboom as well on the show already. So, it's a show where we really showcase new music from across Europe, the UK, and South Africa. And I think that's what's exciting for me. I'm getting to hear new music out of the UK that, like Cameron Sanderson as an example, that I never thought I'd have the chance to listen to, and absolutely blown me away.
Yeah, and likewise, I mean, with the best row in the world, and this is again another thing I think is great actually, because in the UK, I think maybe I'm going to say this unfairly, but I'm going to claim it anyway. In
Claim
the
it.
UK,
It's all yours.
we can be a little bit too much engaged with our own stuff, and we don't open our ears enough to what's going on elsewhere. And I know that's very true. In the UK here, we love our own music. We'll probably extend that a little bit to what we get imported from the US particularly. But when it comes to other parts of the world, we're a little bit like, not interested. And it's been fantastic to hear stuff. So just my whole involvement with Discover TV, actually, and be engaged with people and do work from places like Vienna and Zurich and Prague, Hanoi. It's just been great to kind of hear that music and be exposed to different types of things. It's been fantastic.
And yeah, I even got a video in from our US guys. They sent me this video of one of the bands they shot in the last summer actually, and then they had lost the footage, and then they found it again, and they actually sent it through to me this week.
Awesome.
Christine from LA, and I've got to share this with you. It's a phenomenal band that I've just discovered out of the US, but maybe I'll share that with you next week and we can put that up. But it's time to bring in our special guest, because I'm really excited about having this young man on the show with us today. And as I said, it's all about music discovery. And let's welcome in Munya. Can you see us? Can you hear us? I don't seem to have him there. Where's he? Munya? He seems to have frozen. Okay, let's see. Munya, if you can hear me, just go out and come back in, but you seem to have frozen. So let me do that. I'm going to kick him off the studio.
So you said representative from Sony ATV Music Publishing.
Yes.
So just for anyone who doesn't know, there are basically, it's maybe even three now. I was going to say there's only 3 or 4 big
major publishing houses.
Major publishing companies in the world
100%.
now.
Yeah.
Sony ATV being one of that big 4, if not, what's the biggest? Universal's probably the bigger one, isn't it, I think? UMG.
Possibly.
But that's it. It doesn't get much bigger is the point. And when you look at the kind of roster that globally who Sony represent, and this is the publishing side of things, I think that's important to remember as well. That's kind of a much more direct relationship with songwriters and artists through publishing than they would.
And that's why I found Munya's position to be quite interesting, because normally you have an A&R person within a record label. And now we're talking about A&R from a publishing and songwriting perspective, which you kind of forget that most songs are written by songwriters. It's not always just that guy who's sitting in front of the camera or on the guitar or whatever, or the singer that the song's been written for, that it's about. The money is
you
really...
said, most songs are written by songwriters. How many songs are not written by songwriters, Jules?
You have a valid point there, Martin. I probably stepped in it right there.
I think I know what you meant. I think everybody knows what you meant.
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to just put it slightly, but you kind of understand what I'm saying. So hopefully Munya will be joining us shortly, but maybe we should start off with some music, because we've been talking a while now. And we're going to bring in our first guest. And I'm hoping this is going to be one of those that introduces you to a new South African artist, Martin, which I think hopefully you're going to enjoy. So let's bring him right in. We have Gavin Ferguson, all the way from Durban. Is that right?
Yes. How's it going?
Hey,
and
Gavin.
Tom, your producer.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yes.
How you doing, guys?
Cool.
Crazy.
Excellent.
Look at this post lockdown stuff going on. Love it.
I know. It's like a whole new world there.
People in an
That's a whole
actual
new world.
2 people in the same room together.
This is the
Remember what
closest
that was
I've been
like
to another
before?
human
Where's your
being.
mask? Where's your mask?
All right.
Oh, we're inside the house. That's fine.
I'll put my my pink mask on. Hello. All right. So Gavin Ferguson, tell us a little bit about who is Gavin Ferguson.
Well, sheesh, I'm sitting right here, so I don't know what more to say. Just teasing. So yeah, I can tell you, Tom and I have been playing for how long now? Like over a year now, 2 years. Yeah. We've been playing live. Obviously, with lockdown, that stopped. So during this time, we spent it creating this track, which you now have at your disposal, and yeah, that's so far right now. That's what I can tell you.
Okay, but yeah, Gavin, I've heard some of your tracks before. This is not the first time I'm hearing you in South Africa, and this is a big step left in terms of your sound. You've gone a little bit more kind of, I don't know what the word is, but it kind of reminds me a bit more Killers kind of vibe, if that's a good way to put it.
What do you say, Tom?
Yeah, the Killers were definitely an influence. The Black Keys also.
Yes, White Stripes, Black Keys,
yeah.
The Killers.
Oh, you're spot on, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We sort of, we lifted obviously the inspirations, and then there's actually an orchestra in this track as well that we popped in. It just felt like it needed it. I know it's nice to have that at your disposal sometimes.
Popped in an orchestra.
Yeah,
Popped in an orchestra.
Technology is something like that.
Yeah, Tom's an incredible producer. He's come from writing scores for different games and films and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say something. You know, you brought up the thing about songwriting. Yeah. And you were saying it's not normally the face in front of the camera that's the songwriter.
Not always is what I was trying to say, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so true. You know, like I see myself as a songwriter before I see myself as a musician or a performer. And, you know, just with you bringing up this is different to the genres that I've done before, that's I don't see myself as a specific genre. I see myself as a songwriter who expresses myself through different genres. That's why for me to go from EDM to rock is not really a stereotype, one type of genre. For me, it's an easy transition because I don't see music as just seeing it through a genre.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to look at it, and I think that's important as well because, you know, in terms of songwriting, you go with what you feel as a songwriter, and you tend to just follow that sound in your soul, for want of a better word. And, you know, whether that turns out as an EDM track or it turns out as a hard rock or just a piano vocal or just a guitar vocal, it doesn't really matter. It's just what you're trying to portray that you're feeling in that moment of writing that song, I suppose, for want of a better way.
Yeah. And I think what Gavin touched on there also with songwriting, I do a lot of work for, like Gavin was saying, music and games and stuff. And, you know, one game might be a French cafe and one game might be a post-apocalyptic shooting game. And as an artist, yeah. As an artist, it's nice to have different challenges like that where you can stretch yourself in a different direction because, like, if you're writing rap, there's only so many emotions you can get out into a rap song. Sometimes you need to go in a different direction to express a different emotion. And that's why I like this song. Like Gavin's last song, Not Right, was about relationships, and this song's about relationships. But they've got a completely different sound, and they elicit a completely different emotion out of the listener, and you can get the message across in a different way. And it's nice to have that versatility.
Nice to be able to not have to kind of work within boundaries as well, that you kind of or we need to be within this genre. It can be, I think particularly in the EDM market, it can be quite restrictive to kind of, you know, I've got to, it has to be this, otherwise it doesn't qualify to land in this niche or this genre.
Yeah.
Which is very restrictive. I can sort of understand why it needs to be packaged that way for algorithms and stuff, but as producers and songwriters, it's overly restrictive, I think.
I mean, within the...
Yeah, carry on, sorry.
So within the electronic music scene, I mean, genres are defined by tempos. Like something's got to be between 118 and 124 beats per minute, or else it's not considered that genre, which is crazy. Like, you know, and people who identify with that genre will then only listen to music at those specific tempos. It's like limiting yourself to only looking at pictures that are green. There's all these other colors out there and all these other things to experience. And you're just like, no, I'm only going to focus on this little subsection.
Show there's green, Martin. There's green.
Yeah, there we go. That's good.
Basically, if you've got a green screen, you can create anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing right here in the studio. Okay, so let's play some music because I think that's what we are about here. We've been talking now for 16 minutes exactly. So I think let's get on to your track, Gavin, because I'm really enjoying this. Thanks to Amy again for sending me this. Our legend that is Amy, who's part of the Discover TV team. And let's check it out. The song, do you want to just quickly tell us a little bit about the track, just in terms of Dragons in the Sky?
Yeah, so just in a quick nutshell, it's about not falling in love with the person that's in love with you. And just, I was watching a lot of Game of Thrones at the time, so that's where I got the analogy of dragons. And it's just the elusiveness of trying to chase dragons in the sky, of someone trying to get you to love them when they don't love you. No matter what these people did in my life to try and win me over, I just never ever truly felt it. So that's what the song's about.
Cool. Well, let's take a listen, and when we come back, we're going to invite Munya to join us from Sony ATV, who's just been appointed as the new head of A&R there, so we can chat a little bit about, again, going back to the songwriting. But let's check it out. Gavin Ferguson, Dragons in the Sky, here on Discover TV New Music Mondays. Dragons in the Sky. Love it.
Gorgeous stuff.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I know
Great
it's
track.
Royal Blood's the other one, isn't it? It's a bit Royal
That's
Blood-ish.
a good. That's a very, very good. Munya is just having some internet issues, so hopefully, as he can, let's see. I think we actually might have him. Munya.
Hey, Jules. I hope I'm finally connected. I know you've been seeing me backstage trying to connect. I've been going up, down. I went into my car. I jumped out. But I think we're stable. We found a connection which works.
Well, you've just come in at time. We've just had Gavin Ferguson with his brand new single, Dragons in the Sky. I don't know if you got a
Beautiful.
chance to listen to that, Munya, and we were chatting earlier about songwriting.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
you like it?
Yes.
There you go, Gav.
I'll be very honest. I literally jumped on as just as it was ending, so I apologize. I did miss that single. I really do apologize.
Okay, cool.
Last chord
No, well,
was
you can
awesome.
go back. The last
No,
chord.
the last chord. I think I caught that. I caught the chord. I caught that.
Unfortunately, it was the worst chord of the song, so oh well.
So that's C minor
All I
7, B minor 4. Something.
Diminished.
Diminished. But yeah, we were chatting earlier, just beforehand. We were just chatting about songwriters.
Perfect.
and about
Yes,
the
sir.
fact that, songwriters tend to sometimes get stuck in a specific genre, or they get stuck in a specific style of music or way of writing. And, Gavin was saying that for him, it was really about, he has the ability to move in and out of what he's feeling. And I mean, from a publishing perspective, I mean, when we talk about songwriting and music, I mean, when you guys look at new music and stuff like that, are you looking for specific styles, or is there a kind of way of what, when you look at a new artist? And I think for a way of saying it.
Yeah,
Does
I
that make
mean,
sense?
without a doubt. Yeah, no, I think I do understand your question. I mean, the thing with songwriting, it's almost like it's very hard to box creativity, if that makes sense. I mean, and it's very difficult where, as in, I don't know, just because and songwriting is a skill which I don't think is restricted to a genre personally, as in there is certain styles to write into a specific type of music, as in obviously when you're writing rock music or Afro beats and whatever, there is a certain style. But if you're a songwriter, in my head, you're a songwriter, and you should be able to work you should be able to, not saying you can, but you should be able to work across kind of any genres and kind of figure it out, because songwriting is an art, and just like any art, and it's very interesting because I've been recently just even given a brief from one of the other Sony internationals, and they actually they just asked, they were just like, Munya, you must dictate to me what you think the sound should sound like from Africa. So that's what I have to give the songwriters, which is interesting. It's like,
that's interesting, yeah.
So I mean, which is very interesting. And this is real time. I'm talking about a brief that I received last week on Thursday. And so I think ultimately the point I'm going to is, I think production is definitely more specific when you're a producer. As in, certain producers can specialize in a certain genre. But for me, songwriting, if you, for example, study the artist, and that's what I was told. I was like, when you're songwriting for an artist, you need to eat, breathe, and sleep this artist that you're writing for. There's research that you need to do, and that's the work that needs to be put in, which I do think that we tend to neglect on our side sometimes.
It's a great way of putting it. We've got a big show to get through today, so I just want to say thanks to Gavin, because we've obviously got quite a few artists to get through today. So Gavin, loving the single. We have posted a link to the single as well, for people to just go and listen to it afterwards. But please keep sharing us new music.
Got a couple of comments there as well, Jules. Sounds amazing, Gav, says Carmen Luisa Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Sizer just says something, which might be because it's like, could somebody just say something? So he said something.
Cool. Thank you for the something. That's the best compliment I've ever received.
Cool. But thanks so much for joining us, Gavin. And we will be following your career and just checking out the songs as well as they come out. But thanks so much for joining us here on New Music Mondays on Discover TV.
Cool.
Nice one. Love it, Gavin.
And
take
nice
care,
meeting you
mate.
guys.
Likewise, Tom. Take care, boys.
Thanks,
I'll
Munya.
rewatch this. I'm going to rewatch the live so I can catch that.
No,
my bad.
yeah,
my bad.
No, but okay. So let's just quickly, because we've got some more artists for you to check out with us today.
Beautiful.
Thank you for joining us. I'm really chuffed, and I'm really excited by your position. So, and I think for me that was probably the most interesting thing. Martin and I were chatting about it earlier. An A&R person usually goes to a record company.
True. A&R usually is, as in a lot of people are kind of like, wait, publishing has A&R?
Exactly. And I think
definitely be the response.
The first reaction. So tell us about your new position, and maybe just give us a little bit of a background to your career.
Okay, beautiful. So I mean, I think the reality, so in my position in publishing, so publishing is, and one of the things I think we need to try and do is to try to separate publishing from the record label side, because I think there's confusion there. Like when I say I'm with Sony, what people
Oh, you're breaking up now.
Necessarily
we got to find where you can be a bit more stable
case when it comes to
there.
publishing. On publicly just deal with song.
Munya? Okay, we're having a bit of trouble with your connection there. Hello? Munya? No, we seem to have lost. Wait, there you are. Okay, don't move. Find a spot and don't move.
I'm sorry about that.
No, cool. We got you.
Are we back? We're back.
Yeah, we got you again. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not moving again. Sorry. So I don't know where I got cut off there. But basically, I was just saying on the publishing side, when it comes to Sony ATV publishing. Oh yes. So a lot of the people see Sony, and a lot of guys are just been saying, "Oh, Munya, Sony, can I get distribution, marketing?" And the reality is, for publishing, my job, my purpose, my sole purpose is to ultimately, I'm almost like a salesman for our songwriters and our producers. My job, when I sign someone to Sony ATV, is it's almost like I'm hiring you. And then my job from there on, once I've hired you, I need to find work for your talent. So I need to be in connection with film studios, advertising agencies, gaming developers, as well as other A&R across, because it's not just because this is Sony ATV, it's not an exclusive deal to Sony ATV art, to Sony the record label artist. So I need to be reaching out to whichever artist drop a song, we're looking at and production. So that's my position in this ecosystem right now. Okay. Just so it's clear. So in a nutshell. So I'm super excited. It's definitely not something that's quite common, especially in this space, but especially in Africa, the reality is I feel the songwriters and the producers, and I think this is what Sony has really recognized, they're the forgotten creators in Africa.
100%,
I mean,
100%.
I think outside of the continent, people make a living of just purely being a songwriter or purely being a producer because, I mean, they are recognized and the systems are in place for that to work. And the honest truth for me, the systems are there right now. It's just that I don't think as songwriters and producers, we understand and we know what's what, because information's everywhere. So everyone you just kind of jump and hop along what he or she said. So that's the biggest challenge, I think. And so my job is really why I've been chosen, I guess, is to really shed light on songwriters and producers. We need to start putting names to them. We need to start putting faces to them, so that, because they're integral to music. I mean, without them, there's no music. And this is obviously the exception where is not the if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I think.
Oh shit!
No, it's okay.
Oh damn it!
The beauties of the internet.
Oh, I'm sorry about my network.
No, it's
I
all good,
love
man.
it.
It's all good.
Love it.
It's all good. Okay, let's get on to some music because we'd like
the
to.
joy of doing
Beautiful.
This. It's got
That's
to go
true.
wrong at some point. It's like, don't worry about it, Munya.
Well, our first show, our green screen fell down.
Collapsed the first time we did it. So, he's like trying to show off and it just all falls behind him. So losing a little bit of signal is nothing.
This is an improvement.
This is an improvement. And I have a proper green screen behind me today. But I mean, hopefully we're going to introduce you to some new music as well. So I mean, all the artists today are showcasing brand new music. And Martin, I'd like for you to introduce the next artist to us. This young lady all the way from the UK.
That's what I'm here for.
From the UK, indeed. Is it here? Hello, Nuala.
Nuala.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I've been listening for the past 15 minutes. So
fantastic. Well, it's great to see you. You're in London, aren't you, at the moment?
I am. Yeah, North London. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's not in not quite so sunny London this week, unfortunately, but
it's pretty.
No, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Look, I've had to close the curtain so that there's not light coming in everywhere because it's really sunny.
That's okay.
Is this normal London weather again?
I was going to say we can indulge ourselves because in South
Standard.
Africa it's freezing cold in South
You've had your 5 days of summer now, Martin. You've had your 5 days of summer. That's over now. Forget it.
For the year, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You've had enough.
In Nuala, we met last summer, I think it was, almost a year ago, I suppose. For a Discover TV session in wonderful Camden in North London.
Yeah.
At that point, we're just sort of developing artists, I suppose. But right now, debut single is out. So tell us a little about yourself and your brand new single.
Yeah, so I mean, I've released stuff in the past, but never with like, you know, a kind of campaign around it, and you know, a marketing thing, and like with other singles to put out as well. And yeah, so it's quite a big thing for me. And basically, I've been doing this a long time though. I was a busker for quite a while. I made a living out of that for a couple of years, and then I've just been doing gigs and festivals and everything really. And I got a manager over the past year and a half, and that's kind of really taken things up. And been doing a lot of really good writing sessions with some amazing producers and writers that I've worked with some incredible artists as well. So I'm very lucky this past year. And the guy that I worked on my EP with, he's fantastic as well. And yeah, I'm excited. A lot of good things happening at the minute. But I'm on to the next project now. I think as artists, you just like, you have so much music you write all the time.
Yeah.
And you just want to put out the next thing. It's like, I'm on 3 people now.
I don't know if we've lost Munya.
Yeah, Munya's sorry, he's having internet issues tonight, so he'll be there listening in the back. But at least hopefully we'll bring him in as we can.
It's interesting. We were just talking to Munya. I don't know if you're aware of what you saw. Munya obviously representing A&R Publishing for Sony ATV in South Africa, and we were just talking about songwriters as well. Has it been interesting for you moving from being someone who probably, I presume, sort of wrote on your own to starting to collaborate with other people as well? How's that process been?
Yeah, when I first started doing that, when it was recommended that I do that by my manager, I was really unsure. I didn't really like the idea of it, because I think when you've written so long by yourself with a guitar and it's all coming from like yourself and from your heart and everything, it's kind of, it feels a little bit, initially it felt like it would be a little bit of a fake thing to do, you know, to like write with other people and it not come from you. But actually it's been amazing. And every session is different. I've learned so much about myself as a writer, and I've progressed as a writer as well. And yeah, I think the thing is when you have other people come in and write with you, obviously people that have been doing it a long time and are maybe more in that like pop world, so they know how to write a hit for radio and stuff like that, and then mashing that with my vibe of it, you know, kind of it being quite raw and unique, and then mashing those two together can create something really special.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good.
I think that's a really good point, actually. I think sometimes for maybe songwriters or artists, they feel like a collaboration will somehow dilute their personality, whereas I think, as you've kind of suggested, it gives you an opportunity to grow, and also the opportunity to create something unique and perhaps greater that through collaboration, that you can kind of add something to the package rather than take something away.
And to experiment as well, because I think sometimes if you write something, I've been doing a lot of writing for the other people and pitches and stuff as well, like just more so the past like 6 months, and then also like sessions doing like stuff for like dance music and things, which is totally different. And I feel like the pressure's off a little bit when you do things like that, because you're kind of writing with something in mind, and it's kind of easier than being so close to something where you feel like it has to be totally honest, you know?
Yeah.
Those kind of sessions can be really fun, because you just kind of, it's usually just the cliche, oh, babe, why did you leave me type, do you know what I mean? But it works for that kind of music. So it's fun to do that kind of thing. Yeah, and if a song that we write doesn't sound like it's for me, then it can go to someone else if it's good. So nothing's wasted.
Brilliant.
And that's why companies like Sony ATV are important, because they help songwriters to be able to market those songs to other people as well.
And as Munya was saying as well, about finding actually finding writers and saying, okay, I've got a job for you, which is kind of what you were saying, Noella, as well, about saying, well, okay, I've got, here's a gig that I can do. Someone's asking me, can you do this for me? And you go, well, yeah, I'm a writer, so I'm going to write you some stuff.
Yeah.
Also, tell us a bit about the current single.
So this one I wrote a few years ago as well, and this is the thing, because I had all these songs before that were basically, I kind of say they're more like diary entries than like a work of art. They're kind of me just sitting down and having a thought in my head and just going and like it just all coming out. And that's why I say that I've progressed as a writer the past year, where I think certain skills that you learn kind of are embedded in you, and then you're not consciously thinking about it when you're writing, but it's there within you because you've had that experience. And so that's why I think that you know, the songs have progressed, but these songs are definitely a chapter that are coming out on the EP. Definitely a chapter of my life. Before I was like, I don't know, tainted by the music industry. And it was just me busking on the streets of London with my guitar, you know, trying to get people to notice me. So I feel like it's definitely important to get those songs out there.
Yeah.
This song in particular was kind of, I guess it was written after a drunken mistake and feeling conflicted about how I feel about it. And I guess it's relatable because in general, I think people have these situations in their life when you're not really sure if you've done the wrong or right thing, or, you know, and you kind of, you're not sure how you feel about something. So that's kind of what it's about, really. It's quite self-explanatory. And I think a lot of my songs, I always say, like, you know, my writing is very straight to the point. I'm not very good with metaphors. And that's what I know. Some people are great with that, and that's the way that they write. It's almost poetic, which I think is brilliant. But the way that I write is just, you know, I think most of the time people get what I'm speaking about. So yeah, this is one of those songs.
Should we listen?
To the heart, cut to the chase.
Should we listen?
Cue it, Jules.
Let's do it. Here we go. Split down the middle.
Usually do this, I'm not really used to it. I never thought I'd do what I did, but now I'm back alone, I'm feeling so sick. Why'd you have to put that glass in my hand? Now I'm falling for it. No, I'm not the girl you think I am, but it's too late to show it. I'm so split down the middle, can't work myself out. No, I didn't mean to belittle one side of myself. Oh, now we're in conflict, me, myself, and I don't know which one's wrong or which is right. Never been one to deny things. I put my hands up, no disguising. But this time my conscience is fighting with my head who says it's worth lying. Oh, why'd you have to put that glass in my hand? Now I'm falling for it. No, I'm not the girl you think I am, but it's too late to show it. I'm so split down the middle, can't work myself out. No, I didn't mean to belittle one side of myself. Oh, now we're in conflict, me, myself, and I don't know which one's wrong or which is right. Always moments just like this, you wonder how can you forgive yourself for living in the moment and doing what you wanted. So I'll bear the weight on my shoulders, and my temperature still rises when I think about that night. Now I hate that I can smile at something that just don't feel right, and I know it's far from over. Oh, I'm so split down the middle, can't work myself out. No, I didn't need to belittle one side of myself. Oh, now we're in conflict, me, myself, and I don't know which one's wrong or which is right.
We're all going to be humming that after the show.
Passes the whistle test.
The whistle test.
Definitely passes the whistle test.
Everybody's going to be humming that afterwards.
You know the whistle test, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell us.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Love that. And I
My whistling is
like
terrible.
it's nothing like seeing an artist dancing along to their own song as well, which is just like,
Oh yeah, you have
If you
to.
can't love your own music, then what's the point?
I know.
That's what I say.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, it really helps us there, like, God, not
Alistair
this again.
says, get this talent on a gig with Jade Bird.
Yeah.
So that's from
Oh, I
Alistair.
love Jade Bird. You know what?
There
Actually,
you go.
when Jade Bird came out, I was like, wow. I was like, she's like, I related to her because I don't think there's many female singer-songwriters that just come, that have got balls and like give it some, you know. And I've always felt like myself, I give it some, like I'm like, you know, in your face. And when I saw her come out and she was doing the same thing with her guitar, and she was just like, you know, and I was like, yes, because there needs to be more of that. I think at the minute, and it's great, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of stuff, you know, like that we're hearing on the radio, mainstream music and stuff. It's a lot of like soulful stuff, which is great, but it's a lot of just looking pretty and standing there and looking pretty and looking, you know, and being.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
I was sitting there waiting to pigeonhole you into a certain sound, but I couldn't. And I was sitting there like going, I don't want to pigeonhole you because I just like what I'm hearing. And it's a great song. And it goes back to what we've been talking about tonight, which is songwriting. Because I think, you know, a great song should be able to be played on the guitar, piano, or be able to be put into a massive production and sound equally good. And that song, the whistling, the timing on your vocal as well was superb. I mean, I just felt you could feel... You held that beat so beautifully, and I think for me that's kind of was the standout part of it. But it's just a phenomenal song. And guys, we do share the link with you, so please go and support the artist. Nuala, I've posted the link to your YouTube. To split down the middle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. And I'd love to hear what Munya thinks when he can get back online, James. I think he's having such internet issues tonight. If we can't get him back online tonight, we'll definitely have him back on the show because I think it's very important to chat about what we have been. But Nuala, thank you so much. We must get moving along. The show's flying by again.
So I had to remember to turn my mic off or I'd have ruined it by singing along. So.
I can't wait to hear the rest of the EP. I want to hear more.
I can also absolutely confirm, Jules, as well. I can confirm, having seen Nuala perform live, when she says like giving it a bit of balls. Yes, that is exactly what happens live as well. So yeah.
Well, this is Carmen Luisa Rodriguez, who's a young singer who was actually one of the very first Discover TVs we had in South Africa. She's saying, I love your vibe. You have a great sound, very cool song, kept me moving and dancing.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
So there you go. So yeah, it's just, and it's a song that should definitely be on a soundtrack of a show. I definitely feel that.
Yeah, that'd be
definitely
awesome.
Needs to be on a TV show. But thank you so much, Nuala. We're going to move straight on. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're hopping back to South Africa because we're going South Africa, UK, South Africa, UK. And we're going to bring him straight in. Hugh Davison. How you doing, mate?
Hey.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can everyone
Yes, hear me? We can. We can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Thank you for sticking around in the back.
Cool. So many Zoom meetings. I'm like, gotta do the hearing test.
Yeah, are you there? Are you there? Is there anybody out there?
Someone said the other day, I'd never in my life before when I left a meeting did I wave at people when I left. I've never done that before, but on Zoom you always wave at the end, right?
That's true.
Who's ever left a business meeting and waved at the end of it?
Okay, let's get back to the music. Now, Bill introduced you to us. And I'm really excited by the song that was sent to us. So tell us quickly, who is Hugh Davison? No, we've lost you. No, we're having one of those nights on internet. Now, there you are. Okay, got you.
Sorry.
Got you again.
I'm back.
Yep.
Cool. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Who is Hugh Davison? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you hearing us, Hugh? Oh, we're definitely having internet issues tonight. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my side. Is it me? Can you hear me okay, Marr?
Yep. All good. Yeah.
Okay. Hugh, we're just trying to... I was introduced to your music by Bill. We chatted on Facebook. I was just trying to get an idea of who is Hugh Davison. If you can hear me, just give me the thumbs up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. So I've been a musician for most of my life now. I'm in the middle of my years, I've been in punk bands for the last 20 or so years. Come up through the South African punk scene a little bit. I mean, as much as one can in the South African punk scene.
Yeah.
Along the way, I also studied for a music degree as well, and actually got it. And subsequently, I now make a living writing music for adverts. But
Okay.
in the meantime, I've been having these, and obviously just been like part of various projects throughout the years, sort of various creative projects throughout the years, and I've having these songs kind of present themselves to me over the years, and I've just at this point it has become necessary for me to put them out, and give them a good send off, and see what happens. Who knows?
I'm loving the track you sent to us. So tell us a little bit about Southern Cross, because it's what a track. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. It's got like a little bit of everything. There's some great rawness to it, a little bit of Radiohead to a degree, even for me. It's just got a beautiful energy to it. So just tell us about the track. You hearing me? You? No?
Somewhat. I'll give it the sort of. Can you say that again, please?
Southern Cross, the song. Tell us about it. Does that make sense? You got it? No? We're really struggling. Southern Cross, the song. Tell us a little bit about the track.
Yeah. I think so. Let's. Yeah. So, I'm somewhat of I suppose what's the word? Interesting character, I think is a good way to put it. And I'm very interested in this idea of sense making in terms of especially like what's going on in the world and what has been going on for the last even just 6 months, but what's been happening before in terms of like a lot of political things and a lot of economic things. Yeah. And I also have a very strong sort of philosophical bent. I love to read, I love to write, but beneath it all has been this love of music. And it just felt like a really, sort of coming up in the punk scene, there is a sort of political ethos that comes through often, although quite often not really in the bands that I was in, but there was always that side of things, where there'd be a sort of form of protest music coming through. And I can't really call what I'm doing at the moment protest music exactly, but it's in a way I like to think of it as like sort of sense-making music in a way. Okay. Because of the commentary in terms of how politics and for example, just generally the way the world is going in terms of like the coronavirus, for instance. Yeah. It's chaotic. Absolutely. But it's not entirely unpredicted
but it's necessary. I think the world needs a necessary change. I mean, everything from COVID to Black Lives Matter, we need change, and one of the best ways to put change across is music, I suppose, because it's a great way to make your voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously music's got a long lineage of that from like Bob Dylan. Yeah. I mean, before absolutely. What's his name, Woody Guthrie, but even before that, like the folk songs were always like giving like comment on their times. And I think it does happen. To be honest, in many ways, well, I suppose when I'm writing music for adverts, I get to sort of enact that thing of like writing the love song or the whatever. But at this point, for me, it just like felt like I'm putting out 4 songs, and they all felt like necessary things for me to say in a political way, really, which is, I think. Yeah, it can be a little daunting, I think, to do stuff like that. But in the end, and especially after coronavirus, I was like, because I kind of sat there with the songs and tweaked them, and because I'm a producer as well, I kind of sat with the mixes.
According to Alistair, you're a rad producer.
Rad ass producer is
a rad ass producer, according to Alistair.
I like to think so. I like to think so.
Well, I have to say, listening to this track, Southern Cross, I definitely have to agree. If you did do the production on the song, which I'm presuming that you did, because it's a phenomenal track. And maybe let's play the song and then we can maybe just chat a bit about it afterwards again. But let's get this on our screens, guys, because I'm really excited to hear this and I want everybody else to hear this. This is Hugh Davison with Southern Cross here on Discover TV New Music Mondays.
Mind up and cut like a diamond high above this wired town. Gold lines and a lead balloon. Lord, I never want to go back down. And all of those pointless parties, all those things to do, just take lines in the countryside or swing along with the abattoir blues, hanging out in the Milky Way, yeah. Loaded eyes so far away now. We're dreaming out dilation. Oh, the Southern Cross. And is there only one way to get those rocks out? For every million ways to be bored, and only one way to get noticed. For every million ways to be ignored, and are we digging to perdition? In the shadow of the century, I just manufacturing fools go work. A digital alchemy. Hanging out in the Milky Way, yeah. Rolling down so far away now. We're dreaming out dilation. Oh, the Southern Cross. Now we're hanging out in the Milky Way, yeah. Loaded eyes so far away now. We're dreaming out dilation. Oh, the Southern Cross.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What a song. What a great track.
Thank you.
I'm actually kind of lost for words. I don't know about you,
Thanks.
but what a
You
song!
kind of find yourself hypnotized as well by watching,
Yeah.
like because of the lyric content on the video as well. So you kind of I'm watching, listening, and reading, and then the images come across the bottom as well. You kind of it becomes a whole package. It's great stuff.
The video as well.
Yeah.
The video is stunning.
Well, it was meant that way.
Is there more of that?
Thanks. I mean,
I have to ask you, is there more of the sound?
Yeah. Obviously, with variations, but yeah,
Yes.
for sure. It's obviously the video was shot on a quite a low budget, comparatively speaking. But I just kind of did everything myself. Or when I say I did everything myself, I got all of the people that I felt like really needed to happen, and just put it together basically. And the same with the production. And it was also I do want to also say that it was quite important for me as a South African to to reflect where I come from as a South African as well, and to invite artists who I respect and who I think can reflect that sound accurately back to me was really important for me to be able to get the sound to where I wanted it to be.
And the band was tight. I've got it. I mean, if that's the sound of that band, I mean, the keys were beautiful, the drums, everything just flowed beautifully into each other. There was just a great harmony in the sound as well.
Yeah. For instance, Porsche and Noisy, the bassist and the drummer, have been part of Tandiswa Mazwai's backing band.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of Tandiswa Mazwai as well. She's just like such a badass, awesome person, and her music is amazing as well.
Yeah.
And so when I got the opportunity to meet them through another band that they were actually playing with, who I really wanted to record, they're called the She Kings, and I said, come and record in my studio. Meanwhile, with this ulterior motive, I get to I record you.
I will get something else out of you.
Yeah, I record you, but then please come and help me out with these 4 songs that I'm putting out. So they were very happy to do that, and I was very happy to do that, and so like a little partnership was struck up. And
all
yeah,
4
I couldn't
songs
be
out?
happier with the result. No, I'm doing this in proper internet style, just like
one a month,
one at a time, one a month,
one at a time, one a month. Well, you're gonna have to come and showcase each track as that comes out.
Yeah,
we want to hear them because I love it. I just think it's absolutely amazing, and it's such a beautiful global sound and needs to be heard all over the world. And hopefully, through platforms like ours as well, we can help to showcase artists like yourself, because we're really impressed and we want to hear more. Guys, we have shared the link to the video as well in the discussion, and I see Salil saying, yep, he is, folks, can check out more of his stuff. Yeah, she's posted another YouTube link. Full Key saying awesome. Just everybody seems to be loving it, so thanks so much for hanging out with us, Hugh.
Thanks people of Facebook, and thanks guys for hosting this.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to hear more. I'm going to have to chat to Bill. I want more. I want to hear more. Thanks very much, dude. Thanks, man. Excellent. Thanks, man. Cheers. Wow, what a track. I'm really impressed. I mean, again, tonight has just been... Everything is just perfect. And we've run out of time. Can you believe it? Last week we had 9 interviews.
No sign of Elliot then?
No, Elliot's right up. I've got him all prepped.
Oh,
Elliot is there in the background.
I thought you were saying we were
just
done.
saying. No. I could go on for another couple of hours, you know me. But I'm just saying that we're already an hour.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
An hour. We've only had 3 interviews and 4. If you take Munya, we've lost Munya. So Munya, I have to have you back on the show. And even if you have to come to my house and come and do the show with us next Monday, because you're in Joburg, so maybe we can do that.
We have to get Munya back on, because we had him for only a very short period of time, and he was already incredible value in those few minutes. So we must have a proper chat.
And hi to my mom in Sedgefield, a very cold Sedgefield. She says, rock on. Rock on. But let's get Elliot right on screen with us right now.
Good evening, Elliot Porter.
Hello, how you doing?
Can you, Elliot?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. I feel like I'm sort the way that this is looking, I feel like you're me with a wig on.
Yeah, it feels really it feels really close up, doesn't it, tonight?
Like right on the camera today. I'm going to move back a little bit. How are you?
I've got the widescreen.
Oh, that's better.
Julian's got proper space.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Elliot, nice to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a really busy weekend, which has been good, and just kind of like cracking on basically.
Fantastic. So, Elliot, to introduce people to you, Elliot Porter, singer-songwriter. You've been involved with Discover TV. Well, actually, the last session that we managed to do as a sort of live video performance, you were one of our last Discover TV London performers. In fact. Which was around about the time of your last single release, I think, which was Lights of Piccadilly. It was a previous single.
Yeah, it was. It was probably one of the last kind of things I did actually as well, before this kind of coronavirus situation happened. It was down in the Half Moon at Putney, wasn't it? And supporting the Lights of Piccadilly single, yeah.
That's right. Which is from your current album, which is amazing. I mean, it seems like it's been around forever.
It seems like that to me as well.
It's about a year old now, isn't it? Fantastic album, Lanes, which is out now at the moment as well.
Yeah, so that was my first full album, which was about a year ago, which we released, and we've kind of had singles kind of coming out from it, and there's still a couple more to go actually. And before that, I've done a couple of EPs, and I guess I've been kind of active on the scene, probably releasing stuff for about 5 or 6 years, I would say.
And it's been particularly interesting. We had a quick chat last week for the Big Sound Machine radio show.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things is this period, like many artists, I mean, I would love to say you're unique, but you're not. But like many artists, taking this opportunity during this sort of lockdown and COVID situation to actually almost create more and get very active. You started off straight away, very early on into this kind of lockdown period with isolation gigs. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to during this kind of last 10 weeks.
Yeah, so it started with the platform for live stream gigs, because I thought, obviously, as a musician, a touring musician, I've got nothing really to do. So why don't I set up a platform on Facebook? It was just a Facebook group to start with, and it became a YouTube channel as well, where we set it up just so that people could promote their live stream gigs, basically. So their live stream gigs from their house or their garden or wherever they were. And I started doing gigs on there myself, and a lot of my friends did. We then created a YouTube channel to do this kind of thing, really, like have chats with people involved in music and the arts and all the stuff around it. And then I kind of took it to another level where I thought, we've got all these fantastic people doing gigs on the platform, and I could see that they were all available and doing things. So I thought, why don't we try and get them all together and remotely record a charity single for the NHS, just to try and do something to help during these strange times.
That's cool.
That's brilliant. That's Elliot's so professional at this. I know he's been on a lot of shows recently. He's done all the hard work for us there by leaving everything. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. All of this has led, because you, like you said, you were doing the isolation gigs first of all, and then that led to a YouTube channel, which was you've covered a lot of ground in that. There was a lot of sort of technical assistance for artists in terms of how they could set up live streams, but you also talked about things like taking care of your mental health as well during this period, about what you would do on your own. So it's been quite a large development. But as you said, the kind of almost the culmination, or certainly at this point, of what you've been up to was let's create something out of all the people who have been involved in this, which has led to the new single, Elliot Porter and the Isolation Artists.
Yep.
It's called, with Be More Kind, which is a cover of a Frank Turner song. So just tell us a little bit more.
That's really weird, because I just got an email, literally as you said that, in my mailbox saying Frank Turner's about to do a live stream coming up on, Bandstown. You get those emails? And literally I just got one right now saying Frank Turner is going to be streaming a live show on the 11th of June at 08:30 BST.
There you go.
How weird is that?
Wow.
Frank Turner actually makes an appearance at the beginning of the video for this track, does he not?
He does, yeah. So I've always been a massive fan of Frank and that song, Be More Kind. And I'd been playing it in my live gigs, and I just thought, at this time, I think what the world needs, what we all need, is kind of an uplifting kind of song to kind of take us out of the lockdown, and we wanted to do it for the NHS first and foremost, to show our thanks basically, because there's not a massive amount we can do apart from make music, because that's what we do. So we thought, let's do that. And I shot Frank an email actually, and I told him what we were going to do, and almost straight away he came back and he was like, yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea.
That's cool.
And it was great to have his backing. And as it turns out, we managed to get John Snodgrass on the record, who's one of Frank's buddies. He did an album with him about 10 years ago. And through another contact that I had in the industry. And John actually got Frank on the start of the video to do a little kind of introduction, which was brilliant. And it kind of took the whole project to another level, really. And brilliant. I mean, he's such a great guy, Frank Turner, and it was great to have him on there.
Question for you, from me, Elliot. I mean, you've been hopefully watching some of the show tonight.
I have. It's great. Yeah.
What have you thought of some of the artists? Because I mean, that's what this is about. This is about new music, and I love to see what artists think of the other artists that have performed. I mean, what's your view on some of the songs we've had tonight?
Brilliant. I mean, that last track was amazing, wasn't it?
Man, how good is that song?
It was great, and I was just listening to all the individual kind of instruments in there as well. The bass was amazing, and like you said, the keys as well. Just a really cool sound and a really cool video. I was going to say to him actually, if I saw him, I was just going to say that's a great video. And I've actually seen Noala before, actually. I believe somewhere in London, live, and she had a great energy, that track. Didn't it?
Yeah, great track.
Really cool.
And Gavin as well on the first track was a really good track as well.
Yeah.
White Stripes kind of vibe to it. But yeah, great music again. I'm loving this, and we kind of do this. We do one South African, one UK, one South African, one UK, just to show. But what it all just sounds is just good music. It doesn't matter where it's from, does it?
Exactly. And it's a pleasure to see those artists. For people like me as well, especially being in lockdown, we're not getting to go out to gigs. So to go in on platforms like this and see the actual songs and the people behind it, actually, it's in some ways it's even better than a gig, because you get to kind of hear from them as well.
We're doing something right.
To have a backstage chat.
Yeah.
Is that the new tagline, Jules? Even better than a gig.
Even better than the real thing. Hang on, there's a song name in there.
I feel like I should say as well, we have been you're right, we've been doing sort of South Africa and the UK, but that's not the extent of what we want to achieve. So if anyone out there is listening
Hanoi?
From elsewhere, we've had Hanoi, and before we've got, you mentioned about LA, music coming from there as well. So if you are in another part of the world and you want to contribute or get involved, please do. Please do.
Should we play some music to end off the show?
What an amazing thing. I just wanted to ask you very quickly before we play the track, Elliot, if that's okay. Just for people who aren't in the UK, perhaps elsewhere, just to explain why the NHS, why raise money for the NHS? It may seem like it might seem like a strange thing for people who maybe think they know about the health service in this country and think what's going on. So what's the background behind the raising the money?
Yeah, so I think personally, and with a lot of the other musicians on the track, we all kind of felt that we were seeing this terrible situation unfolding, and NHS struggling, and we've got to help save the NHS and things like that. But we didn't really feel there was a lot we could personally do. Normally, I'd go and do things like charity gigs and things for people, and go into places and do actual gigs, and so would many of the people on the record. And we thought, well, we can't really do a lot. As we're in lockdown, so the least we can kind of do is try and create a little bit of a movement with the Be More Kind, the hashtag Be More Kind, and try and raise money for the NHS, just to do our own kind of just little thing that we can help. And as it's probably not, been the best funded thing in the UK for a long time. So it was something that we felt was as well needed to happen.
Yeah, no, that's very important. Well, I think it's, and you know what, maybe the song title is probably more relevant now than ever before, considering everything that's happening in the world right now, because I think we all need to be more kind to each other. And as you can see by the background I have, I'm just subconsciously trying to just make a statement as well that enough's enough. We need to be more kind to each other. We need to make a difference, and it's up to us to change. And and I know people like go to me, oh, but everyone's lives matter. No, right now, Black Lives Matter. And I think it's just an important statement to make in this world, and that we all need to just take responsibility for as human beings. And that's why I was really happy to end with this song tonight, because I think it's probably not only the NHS, but every single human being on this planet needs to be more kind to each other.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're going for.
I like it. Such a great way to end off the show. Thank you for joining us, Elliot.
No props.
Cheers, man.
Guys, remember, just before we go, Martin, let's just remind everybody quickly. So submit your new music, either DM Martin or myself.
Yeah.
Submit music via discover.tv or Cream Room Recordings.
Yep.
All the usuals. You can catch us live on discover.tv.
Yeah, come find us.
Come find us. Thank you so much for joining us, Elliot.
Thank you.
This is Elliot Porter and the Isolation Artists. Be More Kind, original by Frank Turner.
Be more kind.
To hear that you are involved in covering a song of mine makes me extremely proud and honored and humbled. And yes, please.
Okay, we'll check it out. That's good because it's done and it's in your inbox.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I'm excited to hear it.
I am too. I haven't heard it. I kind of forgot how it went.
History's been leaning on me lately. I can feel the future breathing down my neck. And all the things I thought were true when I was young and you were too turned out to be broken. And I don't know what comes next. In a world that has decided that it's going to lose its mind, be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. They started raising walls around the world now, like hackles raising on a cornered cat.
We've stopped talking to each other. There's something wrong with that. So before you go out searching, don't decide what you will find. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind. You should know you're not alone. Troubles come and troubles go. How these days, no one knows. So hold on tight when the wind blows. The wind blew both of us to sand and sea, and where the dry land stands is hard to say. As the current drags us by the shore, we can no longer say for sure who's drowning and if they can be saved. And when you're out there floundering like a lighthouse, I will shine. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind.
that it's going to lose its mind. Be more kind, my friends. Try to be more kind.